The morning sky above Seoul turned dark without warning, and Admiral Hyunwoo Park knew something was very wrong before his coffee got cold on the desk. 10,000 alien ships appeared in Earth's orbit like someone had turned on lights in a dark room, and suddenly everything was different. And the quiet Tuesday morning became the most important day in human history. The ships were huge and strange, with metal that seemed to bend light around itself, and they hung in space like sleeping giants, waiting to wake up and destroy everything. Below them, Commander Sujin Kim ran into the command center with her tablet, showing numbers that made no sense because how could so many ships just appear from nowhere without any warning from the deep space sensors? "Sir, the alien fleet just showed up and our computers are going crazy trying to count them all," she said while trying to catch her breath, and Admiral Park looked at the main screen showing thousands of dots surrounding Earth like angry bees around a hive. The alien ships were sending the same message over and over on every frequency they could find, and the message was loud and clear, even though nobody could understand. The strange sounds and clicks that came from space linguist Dong-Ho Lee worked faster than he had ever worked before with his team of language experts trying to break down the alien sounds into something that made sense to human ears and human brains. "Give me 30 minutes and I think I can figure out what they are trying to tell us," Dong-Ho said while his fingers moved across keyboards and his computer screens filled with wave patterns and sound charts. The command center filled with people who all had worried faces because alien ships appearing without warning was never good news in any of the movies or books they had read. Growing up, Admiral Park stood very still and watched the alien ships on the big screen, while thinking about all the training and all the meetings and all the plans that Earth's military had made for this exact day. He remembered the secret briefings and the hidden projects and the things that most people on Earth did not know about, because some knowledge was too dangerous for regular people to understand. Commander Kim came back with more reports from stations around the world, and every country was seeing the same thing in their skies, and every military base was asking the same question about what to do next. "The alien ships are not moving or attacking yet, but they are definitely scanning our planet with some kind of energy beams," she told Admiral Park while showing him readings from satellites that were still working. "Sir, should we contact the president and start emergency procedures?" asked Lieutenant Bo-Ra Lim, who was working at the communications station and trying to keep all the phone lines open for important calls. Admiral Park raised his hand to tell everyone to be quiet, because Dong-Ho was waving from his computer station and had a strange look on his face like he had just figured out a difficult puzzle. "Got it, sir, and you are not going to believe what they are saying," Dong-Ho said while walking over with papers covered in translations and notes about alien grammar. "Tell me exactly what they said," Admiral Park ordered while everyone in the command center stopped what they were doing to listen to the first message from another world. Dong-Ho cleared his throat and read from his notes in a voice that was steady, even though his hands were shaking a little bit from excitement and fear. "Primitive species of the third planet, you will surrender unconditionally or face extinction, and you have 72 Earth rotations to comply with our demands." The command center became very quiet, and everyone looked at each other with expressions that showed they were trying to understand what this meant for their families and their planet. Admiral Park read the translation again, and then something unexpected happened that nobody could have predicted even if they had thought about first contact scenarios for their entire lives. He started to smile, and then the smile became a chuckle, and then the chuckle became laughter that filled the whole command center with a sound that did not match the serious situation. Commander Kim looked at her commanding officer like he had lost his mind, because laughing at alien threats seemed like the wrong response when Earth was facing extinction. But then she remembered all the classified briefings and all the secret projects and all the preparations that had been made for exactly this kind of day, and she started smiling too. Lieutenant Lim saw her commanders laughing and remembered her own classified training and the things she had learned about humanity's real capabilities, and she began to grin as well. Soon the entire command center was filled with people who were trying not to laugh out loud while looking at the alien fleet that thought it was scary and threatening. "Sir, why are we laughing when we should be preparing for war?" asked a young technician who did not have high enough security clearance to know about the secret projects. Admiral Park wiped tears from his eyes and looked at the alien ships on the screen with an expression that was almost friendly, like he was looking at old friends instead of dangerous enemies. "They gave us 72 hours. he said while still chuckling and shaking his head like he could not believe how perfect the situation had become. 72 whole hours to get ready, and they think they are being generous by giving us time to surrender, Commander Kim added, while looking at the tactical displays that showed Earth's real defensive capabilities. Do they have any idea what we have been building for the last 46 years? Lieutenant Lim asked while accessing computer files that were marked with the highest level security classifications. The alien ships continued broadcasting their ultimatum, while Earth's military leadership continued laughing because the aliens had made the biggest mistake possible when dealing with humans. They had given humanity advance notice and time to prepare, which was exactly what humans needed to turn a hopeless situation into their greatest victory. Admiral Park walked over to the main communications console and pressed the button that would send Earth's response back to the alien fleet, waiting in orbit above them. "Send this message back to our visitors," he said while typing words that would confuse the aliens and buy even more time for final preparations. "Thank you for the advance notice, and we will be ready when your deadline arrives." The message was simple and short, but it carried a meaning that only humans would understand because only humans knew what they had really been preparing for all these years. The aliens received Earth's response and probably thought it was a message of surrender or fear, but they had no idea that they had just activated the most elaborate trap in galactic history. Admiral Park looked around the command center at his team, who were all grinning like they knew the best secret in the universe. And in many ways they actually did know exactly that. Ladies and gentlemen, start Phase 1 of Operation Welcome Mat, because our guests have no idea what kind of party we have been planning for them. The countdown timer in the command center showed 71 hours and 53 minutes remaining, and Captain Jin Cho was already in space aboard the stealth ship, Silent Storm, moving like a ghost between the alien vessels. Her ship was invisible to every scanner the aliens had, because human technology had learned to bend light and energy in ways that made detection impossible for anyone who did not know the secrets. "Navigation Specialist Woojin Nam, give me a closer look at their flagship," she whispered. Even though sound could not travel in the vacuum of space and the aliens could not hear her anyway. The alien ships were impressive with their size and their strange metal hulls, but they were also surprisingly old-fashioned in their design, like someone had built them using textbook examples of space travel systems. Analyst Yoon-ji Kang worked at her station mapping every alien vessel and recording their energy signatures, while shaking her head at how basic their technology seemed to be. "Captain, these aliens have energy shields and beam weapons, but everything they are using is at least 200 years behind what we expected from an interstellar civilization," she reported, while her screens filled with data. The alien ships used conventional fusion reactors and standard electromagnetic field generators and kinetic barrier systems that any human engineering student could understand after a few weeks of study. Captain Cho smiled while watching the massive alien fleet through her ship's advanced sensors, because the aliens had traveled across the galaxy using technology that humans had considered outdated decades ago. Meanwhile, on the far side of the moon, Dr. Taiman Song was working in the Lunar Research Complex with his team of quantum physicists who had not slept for the past 18 hours. The research station was hidden inside a crater that looked empty from orbit but actually contained the most advanced scientific equipment that humans had ever built for studying reality itself. "Are the dimensional field generators ready for full activation?" Dr. Song asked while checking readings that showed energy levels building up in systems that existed partially outside normal spacetime. His assistant, Dr. Min Ho Yoon, nodded while monitoring quantum flux readings that would have been impossible to achieve just 20 years earlier. Before the breakthrough discoveries, all field generators are charging and will be ready for activation in 68 hours, which gives us 4 hours of safety margin before the alien deadline, he reported while making final adjustments to equipment. The Luna facility was just one of dozens of hidden installations that humans had built throughout the solar system after detecting the first faint signals of approaching ships in 2341. Earth's asteroid mining stations were not just collecting resources, but also building weapons systems that could manipulate space and time in ways that violated every known law of physics. The deep ocean facilities on Earth were not just research centers. but also manufacturing plants for technology that could make entire fleets disappear from one location and reappear somewhere else instantly, back in Earth orbit. The alien commander was growing impatient with waiting for humanity's surrender and decided to demonstrate the power of his weapons by attacking what looked like military targets. The aliens selected several installations that their scanners identified as weapon manufacturing plants and defense stations and prepared to destroy them with massive energy beams. Admiral Velthar gave the order to fire on the human targets and watched with satisfaction as his ships launched devastating attacks that could destroy entire cities with single shots. The alien weapons struck their targets and created spectacular explosions that lit up the dark side of Earth, with flames and debris that scattered in all directions. The primitive humans will see our power and understand that resistance is impossible, Admiral Velthar told his officers while watching the destruction on their viewing screens. But the installations that the aliens had destroyed were elaborate fakes built specifically to fool enemy scanners and filled with explosives that created impressive fireworks displays. The real weapons facilities were hidden in dimensions that the aliens could not detect and protected by technology that made them impossible to target. With conventional weapons, engineer Sung-Ho Park watched the alien attack from his control station deep beneath the Pacific Ocean and activated recording systems that analyzed every aspect of the enemy weapons. Their beam weapons use coherent energy pulses at specific frequencies, and their targeting systems rely on electromagnetic scanning, he reported while studying the data from the fake installations. The alien demonstration attack had given Earth scientists exactly the information they needed to design countermeasures that would turn the enemy's own weapons against them, Captain. Cho continued her reconnaissance mission by moving closer to the alien flagship and using advanced sensors to scan the interior layout and defensive systems. The alien command ship has standard corridor layouts, and their bridge is located in the most obvious place possible, she reported while transmitting detailed blueprints back to Earth Wujin. Nam discovered that the alien ships had no backup systems for their main computers and no redundant power sources, which meant they were vulnerable to systematic attacks. Captain, if we can access their central computer network, we could probably take control of their entire fleet without firing a single weapon, he said while studying the alien ship designs. The aliens had built their fleet for fighting other civilizations that used similar technology and had never considered the possibility of facing an enemy that could manipulate quantum mechanics. Dr. Song received updates from reconnaissance teams throughout the solar system and learned that every alien ship was using identical technology with identical weaknesses. They mass-produced their entire invasion fleet using the same blueprints, which means once we figure out how to defeat one ship, we can defeat all of them, he told his research team. The quantum field generators were approaching full power and would soon be capable of creating localized distortions in space-time that could redirect any attack back at its source. Hidden facilities on Mars and the outer planets were also coming online with weapons systems that existed partially outside normal reality and could strike targets that were light years away. Earth's defensive network was not just protecting one planet, but was actually a trap designed to capture and study any hostile force that was foolish enough to attack humanity. The alien countdown continued while human preparations accelerated, and every hour brought new discoveries about enemy weaknesses and new advantages for the defending forces. Admiral Park received reports from teams around the solar system and realized that the 72-hour deadline was not nearly enough time for the aliens to understand what they had gotten themselves into. The aliens think they are attacking a primitive planet, but they are actually entering a laboratory where we have been waiting to test our most advanced theories about reality, he said while reviewing tactical reports. Commander Kim coordinated with hidden bases throughout human space and confirmed that every weapon system and defensive installation was ready for the final phase of the operation. The aliens had given humanity 3 days to prepare, and those 3 days were about to become the most expensive mistake in galactic history, because humans had been preparing for this exact scenario for almost 50 years. Lieutenant Lim monitored alien communications and discovered that they were becoming more confident as the deadline approached, because they interpreted Earth's silence as fear and preparation for surrender. But Earth's silence was actually the calm before a storm that would change the balance of power throughout the galaxy and establish humanity as the dominant technological civilization. The countdown timer showed 12 hours remaining, and the real battle was about to begin, but it would not be the battle that either side had originally expected to fight. The final hour arrived, and Admiral Velthar ordered his massive fleet to begin the attack that would destroy human civilization and add Earth to the galactic hegemony's collection of conquered worlds. 10,000 alien warships powered up their weapon systems and prepared to reduce Earth's cities to smoking ruins, while broadcasting surrender demands that no one was answering. The first wave of alien attackers moved toward Earth expecting to face primitive missiles and chemical rockets, but instead encountered something that made their sensors malfunction and their computers crash. Lieutenant Bora Lim sat in the cockpit of her ship Quantum Dancer and pressed the activation button that brought her craft into normal spacetime from the hidden dimension where it had been waiting. Her vessel appeared directly in front of the alien attack formation and immediately disappeared again before their weapons could lock onto her position or even register that she had been there. The aliens fired at empty space while Bora's ship phased through solid matter and emerged behind their defensive lines, where their shields could not protect them from attacks. Control. This is Quantum Dancer, and I am beginning combat testing of dimensional manipulation systems, she reported while her ship existed in multiple realities simultaneously. The alien weapons fired energy beams that passed through the space where her ship appeared to be, but struck nothing because the Quantum Dancer was occupying a different layer of reality. Bora activated her ship's offensive systems and fired weapons that existed outside normal physics and could strike targets regardless of distance or defensive barriers. Her first shot passed through an alien ship's shields and armor as if they were not there, and disabled their main reactor by rearranging the quantum structure of their power core. The alien ship lost power and began drifting helplessly, while its crew tried to understand how their defenses had been completely bypassed by an impossible attack engineer. Seung-Ho Park activated the planetary defense grid from his command center beneath the Pacific Ocean and brought online systems that had been hidden for decades. The defense grid was not made of satellites with weapons, but instead consisted of quantum entanglement nodes that could instantly coordinate attacks across unlimited distances. When alien ships fired their beam weapons at Earth, the planetary defense system intercepted the energy and redirected it through dimensional rifts that sent the attacks back at other alien vessels. The massive alien fleet found itself under attack from its own weapons, as every shot they fired was turned against them by technology that made their targeting systems useless. Planetary defense grid is operating at full capacity and alien weapons are being redirected with 98% efficiency, Seung-Ho reported while watching enemy ships destroy each other. Admiral Velthar watched in horror as his fleet began attacking itself, and his most powerful warships were disabled by their own weapon systems that had been turned against them. How are the humans doing this, and why are our weapons not working? He demanded while his tactical officers tried to explain something that made no scientific sense. The aliens had encountered energy shields before, and they understood kinetic barriers and electromagnetic interference, but they had never seen weapons that could manipulate the basic structure of reality. Dr. Taemin Song monitored the battle from Luna Base and realized that every alien attack was providing his team with more data about how their technology interacted with quantum fields. The aliens are using conventional physics, which means we can predict and control every aspect of their weapons and defenses, he told Dr. Min Ho-yoon while recording combat data. The quantum field generators were operating perfectly and creating localized distortions in space-time that made Earth's defensive systems effectively invulnerable to conventional attacks. Each alien weapon that fired at Earth was automatically analyzed and redirected through dimensional mathematics that turned the attack into a precision strike against other alien targets. Captain Jean Cho watched the battle from her stealth ship and realized that the alien fleet was trapped in a situation where every action they took made their position worse. The harder they fight, the more damage they do to themselves, she reported while observing alien ships being destroyed by redirected energy from their own fleet's weapons. The aliens tried to retreat but discovered that their ships were surrounded by quantum fields that made escape impossible without following flight paths that led directly into their own weapon fire. Bora's ship phased through the alien battle formation and appeared next to their flagship, where she began systematic attacks on critical systems using weapons that ignored physical barriers. Her dimensional manipulation systems allowed her to target the alien command ship's reactor core and computer systems from the inside, while remaining completely outside their ability to counterattack. I am inside their flagship's main computer core, and their shields cannot stop me because I am attacking from a dimension they cannot access, she reported while disabling alien systems. The alien admiral realized that his massive invasion fleet was being systematically destroyed by a single human pilot who could appear anywhere and disappear before they could respond. More human ships began appearing throughout the battle zone, and each one used the same impossible technology that made them untouchable, while allowing them to strike any target. The aliens found themselves fighting an enemy that could phase through solid matter and redirect energy attacks and manipulate space and time in ways that violated known science. Admiral Park watched the battle from Earth's command center and realized that humanity's weapons were performing even better than the theoretical models had predicted. The alien fleet is down to 60% combat effectiveness, and they have not managed to inflict any significant damage on our forces, Commander Kim reported while updating tactical displays. The aliens were learning that their numerical advantage meant nothing against an enemy that could make their weapons useless and turn their own attacks against them. Every alien ship that tried to escape found itself trapped in quantum fields that forced it to fly directly into weapon fire from other alien vessels that were also trying to retreat. Dr. Song's team discovered that they could create localized time distortions that made alien weapons fire in slow motion, while human weapons operated at normal speed. The battle became increasingly one-sided as human ships appeared and disappeared at will, while alien vessels were systematically disabled by their own redirected weapons. 3. Aliens are trying to surrender, but their communication systems are being disrupted by the quantum fields around their ships. Lieutenant Lim reported from the communication station. Admiral Velthar attempted to broadcast a ceasefire order, but discovered that his ships could not receive the message because dimensional interference was blocking all alien communications. The human fleet continued its attack while gathering scientific data about alien technology and testing theoretical weapons that existed partially outside normal reality. Earth's first major space battle was also serving as the largest physics experiment in human history and providing invaluable information about quantum mechanics and dimensional manipulation. The alien invasion fleet that had arrived with overwhelming superiority found itself completely outmatched by technology that made conventional warfare obsolete. Admiral Park realized that humanity had not just defended Earth, but had also proven that their advanced physics research could defeat any enemy that relied on traditional science. The battle was ending with human victory, but the implications were much larger because Earth had just demonstrated technological superiority over a galactic civilization. Admiral Velthar stared at his command screens in complete disbelief as his invasion fleet of 10,000 ships was systematically destroyed by an enemy that seemed to exist outside the normal laws of physics. His tactical officers were reporting impossible readings because human weapons were striking alien ships from inside their own hulls, while human vessels appeared and disappeared like ghosts in space. Sir, our weapons cannot lock onto the human ships, and every time we fire our own energy beams are redirected back at us, reported his weapons officer, while trying to understand sensor data that made no sense. The alien commander had conquered dozens of worlds using overwhelming force and superior technology, but he had never encountered an enemy that could manipulate reality itself. 3,000 alien ships had already been disabled or destroyed, and the remaining vessels were trapped in a quantum field that prevented them from escaping or even communicating with each other. Commander Hai Wan-jung led her boarding team onto the alien flagship using personal dimensional shift technology that allowed them to walk through solid metal as if it were empty air. Her team did not fight their way through alien corridors, but instead phased through walls and appeared directly in critical control rooms where surprised alien crew members had no time to react. We are inside the enemy command center, and the aliens have no defense against dimensional phase technology, she reported while her team systematically disabled key systems. The alien bridge crew watched in terror as human soldiers materialized out of thin air and began touching control panels that immediately stopped working, Young's dimensional manipulation. Equipment let her redirect the aliens' own energy weapons, so that when they tried to shoot at her, the beams curved through space and struck other alien crew members. Their weapons are useless against us because we can make the energy go wherever we want it to go, she told her team while alien security forces shot at empty space. The human boarding party moved through the alien flagship like it was their own ship, because walls and doors and security barriers meant nothing to people who could phase between dimensions. Dr. Min Ho-yoon coordinated the battle from Earth's mission control and realized that his team was not just winning, but was also learning incredible amounts about alien technology in real time. Every alien system we encounter is giving us new data about their civilization and their scientific capabilities, he reported while computer systems analyzed captured alien technology. The human scientists were reverse engineering alien power sources and weapon systems and communication networks faster than the aliens could implement defensive countermeasures. Each disabled alien ship became a source of new technological information that immediately improved human weapons and defenses for the next phase of the battle. The remaining alien fleet attempted a coordinated retreat, but discovered that Earth's quantum field had created a localized distortion in spacetime that made escape impossible. Every alien ship that tried to leave the battle zone found itself flying in circles, as dimensional mathematics bent their flight paths back toward the center of the conflict. The humans have trapped our entire fleet in some kind of space distortion, and we cannot break free no matter which direction we fly, reported Admiral Velthar's navigation officer. The alien ships were using maximum power for their engines, but instead of escaping, they were being pulled deeper into the quantum field where human weapons could reach them more easily. Lieutenant Bora Lim continued her attacks on alien vessels, while her ship existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously and could strike targets from angles that should not have been possible. Her weapon systems were learning and adapting with each shot, as human computers analyzed alien defenses and automatically adjusted attack parameters for maximum effectiveness. Control my targeting systems are now predicting alien defensive moves before they make them, she reported while destroying enemy ships with increasing precision. The aliens were fighting an enemy that seemed to know what they were going to do before they decided to do it because human quantum computers could calculate probable futures. Admiral Park watched the tactical displays and realized that humanity was not just winning the battle, but was actually conducting the most comprehensive scientific experiment in galactic history. We are learning more about physics and alien technology in this one battle than our civilization learned in the previous century, he told Commander Kim while reviewing combat data. The human fleet was treating the alien invasion as a live fire testing ground for experimental weapons and defensive systems that existed partially outside normal reality. Every human ship in the battle was equipped with different prototype systems, and each engagement provided valuable data about how the technology performed under combat conditions. The aliens realized too late that they were not fighting a primitive species, but were instead trapped in a carefully designed laboratory where humans were testing theoretical physics. Dr. Taiman Song received reports from human ships throughout the battle zone and discovered that quantum manipulation technology was even more effective than anyone had hoped. Our dimensional weapons are achieving 100% hit rates and 0% failure rates, which means the theoretical models were actually conservative estimates, he reported with excitement. The alien fleet that had arrived with confidence in their technological superiority was being systematically dismantled by science that made their most advanced weapons look like primitive tools. Human boarding teams were now inside dozens of alien ships and were not fighting the crews, but were instead studying alien technology and downloading their computer databases. We have access to alien star charts and technological specifications and historical records from their entire civilization, Commander Jung reported from inside an alien command ship. The information being gathered from captured alien systems was revealing the locations of alien colonies and military bases and resource centers throughout their region of the galaxy. Admiral Velthar attempted to contact other alien fleets to warn them about human capabilities, but discovered that dimensional interference was blocking all long-range communications. The human quantum field was not just trapping his ships, but was also preventing any information about the battle from reaching the rest of the galactic hegemony. "Sir, we cannot send messages outside the battle zone and no one knows what has happened to our invasion force," reported his communications officer with growing desperation. The aliens were beginning to understand that they had not just underestimated human military strength, but had also walked into a trap that had been carefully prepared for their arrival. Earth's defensive systems were revealing themselves to be far more sophisticated than anyone could have imagined, and the planet was clearly not the primitive world they had expected. The battle continued with human forces systematically capturing or destroying alien vessels while gathering unprecedented amounts of scientific and technological data. Admiral Park realized that humanity had achieved something remarkable because they had turned a potential extinction event into their civilization's greatest scientific breakthrough. The alien invasion was ending in complete human victory, but more importantly, it was also ending with humanity possessing technology and information that would change the balance of galactic power forever. 6 months after the failed alien invasion, Ambassador Ji Hai Choi sat in Earth's new orbital diplomacy station across from Admiral Velthar, who was no longer a proud conqueror, but a defeated enemy seeking mercy. The alien commander had watched his entire invasion fleet captured or destroyed by technology that violated everything he understood about physics and warfare. "Your species has capabilities that should not be possible according to known science," he said while looking at holographic displays showing human ships appearing instantly across the galaxy. Earth's dimensional travel technology had made interstellar distances meaningless, because human vessels could now reach any point in space. Within minutes instead of years or centuries, Ambassador Choi smiled while reviewing reports from human exploration teams who were mapping alien territories and making contact with species that the hegemony had conquered. "We are not interested in ruling the galaxy through force, but we are very interested in sharing knowledge and technology with civilizations that are willing to cooperate," Fauci explained calmly. The conversation was not about Earth surrendering to alien authority, but about how the galactic community would adapt to humanity becoming the dominant technological power overnight. Captain Yoon Seo Kim commanded the exploration, ship Dimensional Explorer, as it appeared in orbit around alien colony worlds that had never seen visitors arrive so quickly. Her mission was not conquest, but mapping and cultural exchange, because Earth wanted to understand galactic civilization before making major changes to existing systems. "Captain, we are receiving peaceful contact requests from 17 different species who want to establish diplomatic relations with Earth," reported her communications officer. The alien species that had been forced to serve the hegemony were eager to meet the humans who had defeated their oppressors using impossible technology. Admiral Park reviewed reports from across human space and realized that humanity had not conquered the galaxy through military force, but had made themselves indispensable by offering revolutionary technology, transportation between star systems that once required decades or centuries could now be accomplished in minutes using human dimensional manipulation systems. Communication across galactic distances that previously took years now happened instantly through quantum entanglement networks that Earth was willing to share with friendly civilizations. "Sir, we have received cooperation requests from over 300 alien governments who want access to our transportation and communication technologies." Commander Kim reported Earth was becoming the center of galactic civilization, not because humans had conquered anyone, but because they possessed science that made everyone else's technology obsolete. Dr. Tae Min Song worked in his expanded research facility with alien scientists who were eager to learn about quantum mechanics and dimensional manipulation theory. The knowledge exchange was benefiting both sides because aliens had centuries of experience with different aspects of physics that complemented human theoretical breakthroughs. The combination of human quantum research and alien practical experience is producing discoveries that neither civilization could have achieved alone, he reported with satisfaction. Former Admiral Velthar now served as a liaison between Earth and the remaining hegemony territories because his defeat had actually freed him from serving a government that ruled through fear. The hegemony leadership is requesting negotiations because they realize that continued hostility toward Earth would result in their complete technological obsolescence, he explained during diplomatic meetings. The alien government that had once ruled dozens of worlds was now asking for permission to use human transportation systems because their own ships were too slow for modern requirements. Captain Jin A. Cho led survey missions to former hegemony military bases and discovered that most alien weapons and defenses were being abandoned because they were useless against dimensional technology. The aliens are converting their military facilities into research centers and manufacturing plants because conquest is no longer possible when the enemy can appear anywhere instantly, she reported. Earth's quantum field technology had made traditional warfare obsolete because no defensive system could stop attacks that originated from outside normal space-time. The galactic balance of power had shifted completely in humanity's favor, but Earth was using that advantage to build cooperation rather than to create a human empire. Dr. Min Ho Yoon analyzed data from across human space and discovered that dimensional travel was creating new opportunities for scientific research, and cultural exchange. Species that had been isolated for centuries are now able to work together on joint research projects and share knowledge about different aspects of galactic science, he reported. The human victory over the alien invasion had unexpected consequences because it created a new era of galactic cooperation based on shared access to advanced technology. Ambassador Choi received regular reports about alien civilizations that were adapting their societies to take advantage of instant transportation and communication. Galactic trade and cultural exchange have increased by over 1,000% since we began sharing our technology with cooperative civilizations, she noted during diplomatic briefings. Earth was not ruling the galaxy, but was instead serving as the technological foundation that allowed other civilizations to achieve things that had never been possible before. In a private conversation between Dr. Song and Dr. Yoon, the truth about humanity's dimensional technology was finally revealed to someone outside the original research team. The quantum manipulation systems we used to defeat the alien fleet were actually reverse-engineered from wreckage we found in Earth's Pacific Ocean, Dr. Song explained quietly. Wreckage from what kind of ship? Dr. Yoon asked while reviewing classified files that showed the discovery of advanced technology in 2156. From a human ship that had not been built yet, Dr. Song replied while showing temporal analysis data that proved the wreckage came from Earth's future. The dimensional technology that had saved humanity from alien conquest was actually the result of a temporal causality loop where future humans had sent the technology back.
In time, we have been developing the science that would eventually allow us to send the original wreckage back through time to be discovered by our own past,
Dr. Yoon realized with amazement. The human victory over the alien invasion was the result of humanity helping itself across time using technology that existed outside normal temporal flow. Admiral Park stood in Earth's expanded command center and looked at displays showing human ships exploring every corner of the galaxy with instant travel capability. The alien invasion that was supposed to destroy human civilization had instead become the event that launched humanity into becoming the galaxy's most important technological civilization. Earth's defensive grin has evolved into a smile of satisfaction because we did not just survive first contact, but used it as an opportunity to bootstrap ourselves into galactic leadership, he observed. The story ended with humanity having transformed from a single planet species into the technological foundation of galactic civilization through science that manipulated the basic structure of reality itself.